We stopped focusing on the most important goal of education: values, character development, cultivating a moral consciousness in each of our youngsters. We stopped teaching the children that the most important part of life is knowing right from wrong. Teaching children that murder is wrong because it's against the law, or it is not nice, or it runs against social norm, does not penetrate the core of many youth. It's a shallow argument. By teaching our children that the Creator and the rule of the world has deemed certain behaviors as wrong and evil, and this Creator cares about the behavior of every person and expects of him or her to behave with goodness and kindness towards others, and will hold his child responsible for their actions, we can hope to ingrain these values in them in a more effective way. The child must be given to understand that the world is not a jungle. There is a Creator. There is a Master who sees and evaluates all of our actions. And as the expression of the Talmud says, there's an eye that sees and an ear that hears. When morality is based on my own moods, inclinations, or the norms of society or the school, I can end up actually justifying the most heinous, crazy of crimes. Let's take, for example, Germany. Right? Germany, way back in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, was the most advanced nation in science and philosophy. Yet, in the name of science, it produced the most chilling criminals in the annals of human history. King David put it in his Psalms. In Hebrew, it sounds beautiful. Reishis Chachma Yiras Hashem. The genesis of wisdom is the fear of God. When children are inculcated from the youngest age with a fear of God, and I'm speaking this in the most healthiest sense of the term, with a recognition that God has deemed certain behaviors evil, and He is watching them, there's a far greater chance that they're going to behave morally, despite internal turmoil and all types of challenges that life may confer upon them. Faith, of course, can also become a serious source of evil. Yeah, ask the Islamists fundamentalists. When we teach our children that God wants them to murder infidels, religion becomes toxic and dangerous. Yet the solution is not to dismiss the notion of absolute right and wrong. Just as the solution for obesity and cholesterol is not to stop eating altogether, it is to stop eating the wrong foods. Did you read the WhatsApp that came to my attention Erev Shabbos on Friday afternoon that was going around? It captured very well. Dear God, it said, why do you allow such violence in our schools? Signed, a concerned student. God responded, dear concerned student, I'm not allowed in schools. There's one man I'd like to share with you who's trying to create some change in New York City. At the border of Crown Heights and Brownsville is an impoverished corner of Brooklyn. Stands this tan brick building that houses PS 191. It's called the Paul Robeson School. The school serves a student population that is remarkable in its disadvantage. 99% of its roughly 300 students in the pre-kindergarten through 5th grade qualify for free or reduced price lunches. Some of the students live in the homeless shelter next door. But every morning at 8:30, half an hour after the kids have come bouncing into the building in their blue school uniforms, this school becomes remarkable in a different way. It gets quiet. For a full minute, there's only silence. After the teacher and a handful of students announce the moment of silence over the loudspeaker and offer something to think about for that day, what do you think they speak about? A personal growth, how to help someone else. Each and every person at PS 191, from the littlest 4-year-old to the principal, pauses for 60 seconds. PS 191 has been observing this morning ritual for the past 3 years, ever since Abraham Frank, a Chabad Hasidic Jew, heeding the late Lubavitcher Rebbe's call back in the 70s and the 80s, when violence in schools was increasing dramatically, when the Rebbe called for a daily moment of silence in public schools. He walked in off the street and he introduced, I'm talking about Abraham Frank, he introduced this idea to the principal. So far, Frank, who is a white-bearded 64-year-old with a day job managing attendance at New York City's Human Resources Administration, has persuaded administrators at 13 public schools in Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens to institute a moment of silence. His goal, he said, is to get moments of silence in the schools all over the city. And I'm working on getting a moment of silence in my synagogue during the services. I'm laughing, everybody. Take it easy. Through school-sponsored prayer, I don't know, are you aware of this? That though school-sponsored prayer in American public schools was prohibited since the 1962 U.S. Supreme Court decision in Engel versus Vitale, voluntary, student-initiated private prayer is not. In response to the ban on school-sponsored prayer, there's been a nationwide push for introducing into the public schools a daily moment of silence that students can use to pray or to reflect. I've seen, this is the supervising school attendant at that school, 191. I've seen a tremendous changes behavior-wise in terms of punctuality. The kids want to be there for the moment of silence. When they miss it, you can see them upset. Everybody loves it. And they insist that on having a moment of silence even at home. They've adopted it even at home. They have this moment of silence to reflect on deeper ideas in life. It focuses the children in the school. The principal records. During the moment of silence, they make their resolutions for the day and are ready to learn and get right to work. We're seeing a tremendous academic growth in our kids. Today we need, and that's my main point today, we need a paradigm shift in education, both at home and in schools across the country. We must teach our children to be mentioned, not only for the police, not to get them and catch them in trouble, or for people to disapprove of their behavior, but because there's something called right and wrong, and it matters. Kids will get that. 30 years ago, on May 17, 1987, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, penned a letter to President Ronald Reagan at that time in the White House. And in that letter, the Rebbe writes, "It is particularly gratifying that you bring to the attention of the nation, of the international community, the need of upgrading education in terms of moral values, without which no true education can be considered complete. Consistent with your often declared position that no true education can leave out the moral and spiritual dimensions of human life and human striving, you," the Rebbe writes, "Mr. President, once again remind parents and teachers in the opening paragraph of your proclamation that their sacred trust to children must include wisdom, love, decency, moral courage, and compassion as part of everyone's education. Indeed, where these values are lacking, education is, to use the classical phrase, like a body without a soul." So therefore, dear friends, it behooves us at this painful and fateful moment to address one of the most critical issues in this entire tragedy in Parkland, Florida. There seems to be, sadly, the absence of a strong moral foundation in the lives and education of so many of our children in the United States and around the world. Allow me to move on to something. This week is my Jewish birthday on Wednesday. And a birthday is an extraordinary time. And I'm inviting everyone to join me on this Tuesday evening, February the 20th, for my virtual online Jewish birthday Verbringen Facebook Live style. It starts at 6 p.m. Just tune in. And my Jewish birthday is that night into Wednesday. And it follows into Thursday, which is Moses, Moshe Rabbeinu. Moses, our great Moses, his birthday is on Thursday, the 7th day. It'll be a joint party for Moses and myself and many others whose birthdays, Jewish birthdays, fall out at this time. So I'm asking you, join me, interact with us on Facebook Live from the comfort of your home. And if I see you watching, I'm going to wave. I'm going to wave. In fact, if anybody out there would like to join me during this hour-long broadcast, give me a call. And I'll let you know where the studio is. And if you plan to come there for a few minutes to extend wishes, also be prepared to say some words of inspiration appropriate to life and what a birthday is all about. Because the birthday really is a window into our soul. That's what a birthday is. The world with which we live is like a hard crust. And it's very, as we see in our times, hard to pierce. On our birthday, something special happens. A door opens up and reveals the fruit within that crusty shell. On our birthday, we're reminded who we are, that we all matter. Because time is like a spiral. The same energy that the universe invested in you at birth repeats itself on your birthday each year. This energy, what is this energy? Is the purpose of our existence, our personal mission. So our birthday is therefore a day when we can tap into that and reminding ourselves who we are and why we were put on this earth. Birth is our beginning. It's a day, an opportunity to remember that day, to give celebration, to give thanks to Almighty God, to strengthen our respect for our parents, and to reflect about how well are we doing fulfilling that mission. So again, I invite you to join me, whether on Facebook Live, Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. As you know, it'll be archived as well. If you can't make it at 6, you can tune in at 8 or whatever it is. But if you want to be live and interact with me during the show, please. And if you want to be part of the show itself, give us a call at 516-739-3636. We'll let you know where the studio is, right here in Nassau County, and you can join us for this great celebration. Please don't forget the upcoming holiday of Purim, which of course is on Wednesday evening, February the 28th, and goes all the way through Thursday, March the 1st. We look forward to inviting you to our congregation, our Chabad of Mineola. Wednesday evening, February 28th, we have the Megillah reading at 6:30 p.m. Thursday, March 1st, we have a morning service at 7 a.m., late Megillah reading at 4:15. And if you'd like to join us in Purim in Hawaii, that's the theme for this year's Purim party, an important mitzvah to come together and to celebrate the holiday, give us a call again at 516-739-3636 or go to our website for all the information. This is your host, Rabbi Pearl. May Hashem bless. Send condolences to all the grieving families in Parkland, Florida. May Hashem bless us all with wonderful good health and happiness and good news to share. Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.